marks a very, very special and magical day for fans of one of the greatest gaming franchises in the world. I might be slightly biased when I say that. Today, which is the 29th of November 2016, sees the release of the long awaited Final Fantasy 15. We have been waiting 10 years for this game. It's gone through a few changes, it disappeared on us, it's been scrapped, forgotten about, abandoned, but finally we have it. It's out. I spent this evening playing it and I'm honestly still in shock that it's happened. I honestly thought that they'd just given up on the game. I'm still not 100% sure why it took so long for them to release it. What if it was due to problems or something, I don't know, but oh boy, am I glad that it's finally here. So, you may be wondering that, as this is an Artbook adventure video, why am I talking about a video game? Well, that is because I have this. This is the complete official guide to Final Fantasy 15, and it is the collector's edition. And isn't it just beautiful? Unfortunately, actually, you can't really see it very well because I kept on the shrink wrapping. Because I was hoping to do some sticky fingers, but my fingers aren't sticky enough, apparently. Anyway, so yes, although it is a guidebook, when you purchase the collector's edition, you do actually get 32 pages of extra art gallery goodness, because there isn't actually an official art book released with the Final Fantasy games. Unfortunately, this is the closest you can get. They did do a photo book or a concept art book with the limited edition. Excuse me, holding my sleeves up. With the limited edition of the game. However, that was, I think it was £80, so I could either have purchased that or I could have purchased the day one edition, which is here, and the guidebook, and it still would have been £20 less than if I'd bought the limited edition. There was a part of me that thought, well, I've waited for so long for this game. There's also apparently a special edition PlayStation that you could get as well. I didn't know that, but I don't need that. I've already got a PlayStation. So, but I think a lot of people have probably bought a PlayStation just for this game. So, I think that's enough rambling. I'm still, as I said, a little bit disbelieving that the day has finally come. That Final Fantasy Versus 13, as it was originally known 10 years ago, is finally released. Okay. I haven't opened this, as you can see, because it's still in the wrapping, so I have purchased one of these guidebooks. Actually, I've purchased 3 of these guidebooks before. When I played the Final Fantasy 13 games, I have, yes, played all 3 for some bizarre reason. And I did actually find these guidebooks really quite useful because of the new sort of open world format that the video games are now taking. Final Fantasy used to be incredibly linear, like most games, but video games are becoming so much more advanced that they have this ability to have these huge explorable worlds, and there are so many things to do and so many things that you can miss out on doing that these guidebooks are quite useful. So let's move this out of the way. So you've got this on the back, which just gives you an overview of what you've got inside. So basically what the guidebook does is it gives you a rundown and a walkthrough of every area, every stage, every mission, every side quest, information about enemies, information about levelling up and customizations and all kinds of things, which is of course why it is so humongous. I'm still not sure if I'm actually going to use it for Final Fantasy, because there is a part of me that enjoys discovering things for myself, but at the same time I don't want to miss anything. So let's open this, shall we? I'm not obviously going to go through the entire book because it's mostly just going to be text, but I will find the pictures. So this is the main character. This is Noctis. I can't remember his full name. It's Noctis Lucis something or other. And I have mixed feelings about him. One, I don't really know him very well yet. And two, he reminds me too much of Sasuke from Naruto with his hair. And I hate Sasuke. So that's fun. So, now this is the one that I'm probably going to like the most. This is Gladiolus. He's pretty badass, and I have a weakness for men with shaved sides, so yay. And he's like the least naff one of the bunch, to be honest. There's a group of 4 of them who are your main playable characters. In fact, here they are. So this is quite nice. This is a little extra that you get with the collector's edition of the guidebook. I think it's supposed to be like a print. So these are the 4 characters that you play as through the game. Well, you only play as Noctis, but they're his companions. So you've got Gladiolus, Noctis, Prompto, and Ignis. And the thing that I actually found most useful with the other guides I bought for previous Final Fantasies is this, which is the map. Now the only thing is that I don't usually like spoilers. I don't like to see what's coming just in case something gets revealed. And I know this is just a map, but you know, I don't want to see sort of the possible locations that we're going to go to. But as I said, this was an absolutely invaluable tool, if you can call it that, resource. When I was playing the Final Fantasy 13 games, I'd have it open on the floor the entire time I was playing. It was brilliant. So I will probably use this at some point. Maybe if I've explored all of the playable world, then I'll crack this bad boy open, or if I get desperate. So let's get to the book proper, shall we? I've been rambling for so long and I haven't even really opened this yet, so we've got a foreword by the director of Final Fantasy 15, who I'd very much like to have a few words with and ask him what the hell he was playing at. So here's the contents, telling you what's what. Quick start guides. So this is Noctis' father. This is King Regis. He plays a bigger part in the movie, which is set slightly before and sort of crossed over with the game. It's not a brilliant movie, but I love the soundtrack. I've been listening to the soundtrack ever since I first saw the movie a month or so ago. So as you can see, it's got a lot of information. So you've got the commands here, it gives you the game structure, how to move around the world, gear and gil. So, I mean, everything in here is in the game, but somehow having it laid out in book form, there is a good chance that I will probably, if I do decide to use the book extensively, I will probably page mark it so that I can find bits. Usually I'm a bit of a trophy wench. I like to collect all the trophies and get as near to the platinum as I can. So that usually involves a lot of extra play and work and effort for absolutely no reward whatsoever, but the sense of achievement. So that's why I will probably use this towards the end. So it's got your combat styles. I quite like the combat style at the moment. It's quite fun. But the game I played before this technically I replayed Kingdom Hearts 2, which is a very simple fighting style, and then before that was Final Fantasy 14, which was a very, very different combat style. And so it's having to unprogram my brain to do different things. So it's got all of these great screenshots. Oh, that's a cool pic. See, this is why I like these guides. It's because it is the closest you're going to get to concept art. So yes, it goes into horrendous detail. It can be quite daunting looking at all of this. So here's Noctis, so I will be skipping this whole section because this is the walkthrough, and it takes you through chapter by chapter, telling you, without actually giving away spoilers, but it does tell you where you need to go. So I don't really want to look ahead, of course, to see where I'm going to be going. I realise I am stroking Noctis, which is a bit weird. But yes, I am going to have a go at trying to find the next section. I think I just did. So there you go, that whole section is all walkthrough. So that tells you everything you need to know about each area, the enemies it has, treasures to pick up, items of interest, side quests, everything you want to know, but without giving away any of the actual story. But still, if you're a fusspot like me, I'd rather not look in advance. So we have the section on side quests. This is Prompto. I'd say he's probably the doofus of the group, and I quite like the doofuses because I guess I resonate with them more than others, being somewhat of a doofus myself. But not with this one. It's a bit too silly. I think it's the hair. So this one shows you all of the side quests in each of the areas. So again, I haven't done a very good job of skipping forward here. Oh my goodness, there's loads. There we go. Ah, yes. Gladiolus. I usually wouldn't go for a character who walks around basically with his, boobs out, but I think I can forgive him. Although he wears cowboy boots, which is a black mark against his name. So this section, moving on quickly, this section is for inventory, and it will list all of the weapons that you can get in the game, and it gives you every single stat and where you can get it for every single character. I mean, just look at all of these charts. If you're a fan of stats and things, this is just heaven. You've got all your accessories, food, because one of the characters cooks. It's really cute actually. When you're looking through your gear in the menu, you have these really cute little avatars which are sort of a throwback to classic Final Fantasies. It's really cute. Little pixelated fellas. Oh, there they are in their everyday gear. You also drive around in a car, which is quite a novelty. Final Fantasy, it's usually chocobos or on your own two legs, but Final Fantasy 15 feels like a very different beast. It's a lot more contemporary than, I think, Final Fantasies that have come before it. There is still the fantasy element, there are still crazy creatures and magic, but yeah, it still feels a little more, well, contemporary than others do. The outfits, for example, are slightly less outlandish. The cities are more recognisable as cities you'd see in this world. hazard a guess that she's like the main female, but I don't think the female that I'm aware of would dress like that, so... Uh-oh, plot spoiler. Yay, so here's a pretty impressive scene. Looks like they're in the midst of battle. Or fighting, so this is the bestiary. And it gives you all of the creatures. Now usually there is a trophy where you have to have killed every single one of these in the game. At least there was for Final Fantasy 13, which is always fun. So yep, it gives you their stats, what they're weak against. Now some people would class this, having this guidebook, as cheating, and it probably is, but I'm honestly not that bothered. I like this guy, he's awesome. I don't know what he is. And Arbor, he's great. It's like a goat, alpaca, giraffe hybrid. If you've played Final Fantasy games, then you'll know. If you don't, they tend to have a lot of the same creatures. Well, there will be new ones, and they may be redesigned, but you will recognise a lot of the shapes. Oh, I'm liking the chicken, he's awesome. Looks like they have like evolved forms. Oh, this guy is awesome. This is a griffin. Oh, I hope I don't have to kill a griffin, because in Final Fantasy 14 my mount was a griffin, so it would kind of feel wrong. Bear moths are a regular occurrence in Final Fantasies. Marlboros as well. I think there are some new ones in here as well, which is always good. Yay, cactus. All these birds are fun. I'm not... Oh, these are demons. Okay, these guys only come out at night. They seem slightly more humanoid. Oh, these guys look cool. Or girls, I can't really tell, I'm a bit too far away. So these seem more like spirits than sort of monsters. Oh god, I hate the grenades and flans and tomberries, they're always really difficult to kill. Then we have the Imperial Forces, these are the enemy, the Empire's forces, who you're fighting against. I take it these are some bosses, so we're just gonna skip ahead. Oh, look at this little cactus. He's just chilling. Bless. Also, we've got all the spells here. So this section is called Strategy and Analysis. Oh, my goodness. I think I might have skipped a bit too far. Oh well, we'll keep going. Don't want this video to be too long. And there are only so many charts that you can look at. So this gives you a list of all of the items that you need to create certain spells, I guess. Status effects, combat maneuvers. There is a lot of thought that goes into these games. I mean, just look at the amount of writing there is. More weapons. Oh. It also has what looks to be environmental availability. So I'm guessing if you can only summon certain things when the weather is right. That's quite cool. There is a day and night feature in the game. Generally, when it gets to night time, you go and camp and you sort of collate all of your experience and things that you've done through the day, which is quite fun. Oh my goodness, so Ascension is something in the game as well, is your way of increasing your abilities and skills. Things like extra HP and different advantages and things. You can unlock new attacks for your team as well. Party setup. Oh yeah, this is interesting. For some reason they decided that Noctis is gonna be a fisherman. His special skill is catching fish. Well, you gotta have something. Got some mini games games. It wouldn't be a Final Fantasy game without mini-games. Extras. I think I know who this is, but I'm not going to tell you. Oh no, it says, a word of warning. The pages that follow contain spoilers. If you have yet to complete the main storyline, we strongly suggest that you read no further. Well, that slightly scuppers my plans because I really don't want plot spoilers. I'm just going to have a quick flick. I've had a quick flick and I don't think it's that bad, but if you have yet to play the game, then, and you are planning on doing so, then continue watching or listening at your peril. You have been warned there may be spoilers. Please don't have a go at me if something gets spoiled for you from here on in. Okay, let's do this, shall we? I figure it's okay if you don't read any of the writings, so it gives you a list of the trophies and achievements, and I always look these up anyway, because if there are any that I can do through the game and I'll have to go back to later, it's always worth doing. I've actually unlocked about 10 trophies already, so that's good. Character relationships, let's quickly move on. So this isn't plot spoilery really. So we've got Noctis. So as I said, this is the main character. We have Gladiolus. So you've got some concepts here of when he was younger. If you've, like me, are sad, there is a animation, sort of a little mini 6-part TV series. They're only like 15 minutes long per episode, but it goes back and explores Noctis' relationship with the 3 guys that he's with, and you get to see them younger. So yeah, that's Gladiolus. He's like the tank, if you like, if you've ever played an MMO. He's the big hitter with the big HP. This is Ignis, who, yeah, his hair went from, yeah, okay, fine, to what the hell. I mean, it looks like he's perpetually in a wind tunnel, or something's exploded in his face. Don't understand it. And he speaks with a British accent for some reason. But maybe I can see it. But still, yeah, I was very disappointed when I saw what he looked like younger to what he looks like now. Because, really? Oh my god, what is this? Yes, when he was younger, this is Prompto. He looked like that. And for some reason he decided that in order to be best friends with Noctis, he had to get all skinny and buff. And yeah, I don't know, I'm not quite sure either. But yeah, so he went from that to this. And it's basically like a crap version of Cloud with that weird pingy hair, though he looks like he's on drugs. He looks, yeah, interesting. So this is Luna Freya. If you've seen Kingsglaive, you will probably not recognise her because she looked completely different in the movie. But this is, I would guess, like the main female of the game. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know the actual plot really beyond the basic outlines. So there may be other females that turn up later on. But yes, in the movie Kingsglaive, they made her look about 25, and she definitely had no sort of Japanese characteristics. You know, her eyes weren't quite so almond shaped. In fact, she looked absolutely shattered in the movie, and she was voiced by Lena Headey, so she sounded like a 25-year-old. Actually, no, she sounded much older than that. She sounded about 35, looked about 25, and obviously in the game, she looks like this, which is a peachy-faced, sort of late teenaged person, which is more what I would have expected. But very Final Fantasy. Oh my god, this guy was ridiculous. He was in the movie as well, and I don't know who they picked to do his voice acting, but they should have been shot. I'm sorry, I know that's incredibly harsh. Not anywhere like fatal, just maybe in the foot or something, because he was terrible. So this is Arden. I don't know why he seems to obviously. I'm guessing he must be the main bad guy or something, because he's got the whole page to himself. So this is the reason why it says continuing the legacy is because there are 3 things that appear in every single Final Fantasy. Chocobos, and they are redesigned with every game. Like in Final Fantasy 13 they were pretty beefy looking. They look a little bit cuter in this one. But yeah, if you lined up all of the Chocobos from all of the Final Fantasies, they would all look very different, but fundamentally the same. But these guys look a lot smaller than some of the previous incarnations, although I think in Final Fantasy 13 that was the biggest they'd ever been. Moogles as well, although that's a very funny looking Moogle. But Moogles appear in every Final Fantasy, and as I've said, Cactuars as well. Hunting for locations, so I'm guessing they were trying to find inspiration for the settings in Final Fantasy 15. And yes, when you start the game, this is very much the Vista. Sort of this scrubland, flat scrubland with random sort of rocky hills, mountains dotted about. So more concept art, this is always fun. I do like the concept art. See how they began shaping the world. We've got some cities. Oh, dungeons. So dungeons, again, if you are unfamiliar with video gaming in general, are multi-room areas which usually you can't save once you enter. So if you die, you have to start again. And there's usually a big boss at the end. And you basically, you can't leave until you complete it or die. So they're always fun. Niflheim are the bad guys. Boo, Niflheim. They want to take over the world. Although, unfortunately, whenever I hear or see the word Niflheim, I just think Niflheim. I can't help it, that's my brain. Always circling the gutter. Alticia, not been here yet, but that looks very much like Venice. Oh yes, very much like Venice, which is pretty cool. I have to say, when I was playing Leviathan's awesome. When I was watching the movie, I couldn't help but see some similarities between Final Fantasy and Assassin's Creed, which is a pairing I wouldn't have expected. It might just be me, and they were very subtle ways anyway, but in terms of some of the design of the characters, the style of fighting, it kind of felt a bit Assassin's Creed to me, but not like massively. I'm pretty sure anyone else would look at me like I'm mad. But the fact that it's set in Venice, that's why I should explain myself. That's why I mentioned it, because obviously the second Assassin's Creed game, second Brotherhood and Revelations are all set around Italy, which is what reminded me of it. And there we are. That's it. We have the index. And then the last 2 characters. So actually it said there were plot spoilers, but I can't honestly say I feel like the plot's been spoiled for me, so hopefully it hasn't been for you either. And there we are then, yes. Thank you very much for joining me again for an Artbook adventure. If you are a fellow Final Fantasy 15, I wish you very, very happy